So next up is Laura Newman. Every time I mention her name, I think everybody knows Laura. Her nickname is the Ice Maven because she apparently has an obsessive knowledge of the maintenance and the conditions of the ice on the Stroudwater River. She's originally from Chicago, but since 2003 has worked with teachers, students, and parents and school communities to design and build green elements that improve their school's grounds abilities to support children's play and learning needs. She's been at Portland Trails and founder of the School Ground Greener Coalition, and also does a mean Scooby-Doo imitation. Please welcome Laura.
Thanks, Paul. That loosened me right up. Okay, so I just want to preface by saying, how did we get such a fabulously creative group of people in this room? What did you do as a kid to become such great problem solvers and designers? Also, I was, oops, did I break this? Okay, I'm not going to touch it. Also, I was a teacher, so you have to do what I say to do next. Please close your eyes and picture the place you loved best to play outside as a child. What made this place special and fun? Can you see it in your mind's eye? Inhabit that place for a moment. Oh, you skipped one. Children today are not having those outdoor free play experiences you probably had because of screens, a pervasive culture of fear among parents perpetuated by the news and entertainment media, and our litigious culture, though there are statistically no more abductions or injuries now than 30 years ago. In 4 generations, the roaming distance allowed an 8-year-old has diminished significantly from 6 miles to 300 yards. But this is where play is allowed. This equipment provides a limited number of specific types of physical play, what we call gross motor development. But children are natural scientists and inventors and creators. They want to experiment, and they get bored going down the slide the same way every time. It's like when you buy your kid that super cool toy they've wanted, and they play with the box. Why? Well, the toy's designer has already done all the creating, and the box still has infinite potential. It can be torn and squashed and cut and transformed, and I can get inside and play, and then you can't see me. So the problem is in thinking we can buy a playground that we can get that. The problem in thinking we can buy a playground is that we get away from creating environments that support the richest play: social, imaginative, creative, collaborative, adventurous, sensory stimulating, physical play. Playing is learning. Research shows kids need complex, diverse play environments they can manipulate that have variety and choice from one day to the next. And research shows that interaction with nature improves moods and encourages wonder and discovery. So why do schools and municipalities keep putting up those when we could have this? Because even though the other one cost $100,000, it is low maintenance, covered by liability insurance, even though 90% of all serious playground injuries happen on equipment, because we are risk averse and highly protective, and hey, it's just recess. School ground greening is an international movement, by the way. In Europe, this future engineer is controlling water flow. A climbing structure is allowed to be invaded by a shady green monster, and these girls are connecting classroom learning to the outdoors, which means they understand and recall it better on tests. Italy's Reggio Emilia philosophy says that the environment is the third teacher, so school spaces themselves inherently support learning. Great play spaces can also have inspiring, beautiful elements in their design, but they should always, always engage in the most intimate way the spirit of children and give them control of the way they interact with the space. They should change with the seasons and have movable parts. The School Ground Greening Coalition at Portland Trails involves students, staff, and community in our work through charrettes, work days, and teacher workshops to support use of the grounds for learning. The projects build community and pride of ownership. They are rarely vandalized. A 5th grader came up with the idea for this leaf pergola at Longfellow. His schoolmates voted for his design, an architect and builder transcribed it in wood, and it is now covered with wisteria. It has been the site of concerts, ceremonies, and classes for countless students. The seating and play maze at Lyseth was built of recycled hardscape. East End Community School's green building opened in 2006 with 2 ball hoops, pavement, and a typical playground crammed in a corner. Sashi Meisner's design transformed the space. If a green building's goal is to conserve energy and schools are to educate children to become future problem solvers, shouldn't the children be learning environmental stewardship from the school and grounds? There's reportedly far less conflict at recess since the greening. The school community participates in seasonal maintenance days. Incidentally, the granite climbing wall from Maine cost about $13,000, less than the cost of a plastic boulder that has been installed at a local playground. The drainage and erosion problem in this area was seen as an opportunity, and a rain garden has flourished. Water is the #1 play feature most requested by kids. Civil engineers, please create ways to expose water movement through school sites so that children can manipulate it and see where it's going. At Hall Elementary, a kindergarten class worked with their teacher, a landscape architect, and our funding to transform a flat patch of grass outside into a boulder garden. Kids jump on the rocks, parents gather, socialize, and wait to pick them up. It is a small but beloved space. At Longfellow Elementary, Amy Siegel worked with 5th grade classes and civil engineer parents to design this play area, which solved a long-time erosion problem with a series of open drop pools to channel water that came down from the play area in heavy weather. And Maine has had some heavy weather. This should be animated. So anyway, if you could hear them playing, it's like they're going nuts playing with this in this video. And oh, what? Okay. It's a video. So what I'm going to do is try to be like 15 voices being like, oh my God, no, you got to put this stick in there. Wait, get the ice out of there. Someone get more wood chips. And then they're all they're working together and trying to figure out this problem. And the ice is stuck. And oh my God, we've got to figure this out. And they are having such a hell of a good time. It's awesome. We'll put it on our website. So I walked into Longfellow last fall to find these stunning watercolors. The kids plant the seedlings in their garden in the spring, come back and find them in September, and they're huge. It is one thing, as you all know, to make art indoors, and quite another to paint outside looking at a live, spectacularly tall sunflower, which your class planted last spring. So in this age of virtual experience, we have to remember the power of special places in our own childhood and create great outdoor spaces for our children. Thank you.
Okay, Scooby-Doo, and she can do her own sound effects for her videos. That's great. You know, I think playgrounds are incredibly important, and I think it's great that we have people like Laura who really care about them as passionately as she does. So thank you, Laura.